Hokey religions and ancient weapons. Weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side.
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast. The final trailer has come out, and our brains finally work again. This is Tyler.
This is Michael.
Welcome to episode 104.
Yep. I can't promise my brain works again, but...
Well, did it before.
No. Well, again. There was no again.
Man, that was...
intense.
I was at a work function and I just walked out of the room and found an empty corner to watch it on my phone.
Your eyes went glassy and
I just stood up.
Zombie walked
like a robot.
Yeah.
I floated out of the room.
On your back.
I was laying down on the floor using my feet to scoop myself backwards out of the room, going underneath chairs.
You're laying on your back and your legs are like at a 90-degree angle and you're just crawling backwards.
Like limboing backwards out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
oh boy.
It was better than I expected. They really threw some shit in there at the last minute to be like, you have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah. They're just throwing it in our faces.
Just to make us even more confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole the tickets sale situation, that was way easier, I guess, than expected because they were on sale
last year
beforehand.
Yeah, but it seemed like it happened with no warning. Because I was watching the trailer live, like during the game.
Yeah.
There was a football, and then it stopped football.
Okay.
And then the guy who I don't know who it was. I don't watch this. The football.
Yeah, the football explainer.
Commenter. Yeah, right. Then it cut to the football explainer, and he was saying like, yeah, you probably just want me to stop talking, huh? All right, well, here it is. Here's the trailer.
Like you know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, this is the only reason you nerds are here.
All right, asshole. Here it is.
So then they showed it, and then it was over, and they were like, oh, wow, cool. So anyway, football. And they didn't say anything about tickets or when that was going to happen or anything like that. So then when the tickets eventually did, when they were released, there wasn't any warning or anything.
No, they just like were available all of a sudden.
So we got ours.
Yes, opening night.
We'll be there opening night, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Our time.
Eastern, yeah.
Yeah, so first showing any, available. But because of that, I didn't get the seats that, like the absolute perfect seats.
Well, yeah. Just
it'll
because they just popped up.
Yeah. It'll be okay.
They're still good seats.
Right.
It's an IMAX theater. It's a full-size IMAX theater.
Right.
So it'll be fine. It's the theater that we saw Force Awakens in.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Where we waited in line.
Which they didn't have reserved seating back then.
No. So
now
we waited
they do.
in line all day.
I just realized now they do have reserved seating.
Yeah,
obviously.
so we can just show up.
But
we can appropriately be old.
I don't know if I want to do that. We at least need to get there like...
There's not going to be a line because they do reserved seats now. So we could just go stand outside like it's the quick stop and be like, we're here for the movie.
Yeah, make obscene slurs at everyone that walks by. Yeah, we need to go there at least a couple hours beforehand, right?
I guess just
we could bring the recorder with us and say we'll record something.
Run up to people and be like, so Star Wars, and they'll be like, what? Because
I'm what?
No one's gonna be there for Star Wars at that time because of reserved seats now.
I'm sure there'll be something.
Maybe. Well, there's not gonna be any special goodies for us.
Yeah. Again, they're screwing over the opening night people.
That never makes sense to me.
Saturdays and Sundays, starting on the 21st, they're going to start having goodies for everybody. But
yeah,
not
technical opening day, technical release day is when they have the free posters for
20th is the official release day.
Is it?
So not even that. It starts on the 21st, the Saturday.
That makes no sense.
No, yeah.
So Regal Cinemas, you get a
collectible
ticket, kind of like the one I have from Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Which they made you buy back then. And then IMAX, you get IMAX and Regal, you get a poster? Or no, IMAX
AMC.
An AMC.
IMAX Regal, you get the ticket. IMAX AMC on Saturdays, you get the poster.
Yeah.
Or Sundays. One of those days.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah. Once again,
so for people that are going on opening night,
all this pre-sale money.
Yeah.
That's all from these people, and none of this collectible stuff. The people who actually want the collectible stuff, they're not doing it. So we have to go back a second time.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I mean, the movie has already broken a record with having
for pre-selling
the most amount of tickets, even more than Avengers Endgame.
It's insane.
Yeah, it beat it by 45%.
Jeez.
Yeah, which is
it's a lot
already. All of the money.
So anyway, we'll be there opening night, probably a couple hours before. I imagine. I'm gonna take a half day off of work anyway because I won't be able to focus.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we'll be there opening night. I'm sure we'll have something. Maybe we'll live stream on Twitter or something for 30 minutes because I don't like live streaming because we're old people.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, let's get to the important stuff.
Okay.
The real stuff.
The trailer was good.
The trailer was good.
The trailer was like real good, y'all.
So the trailer was good.
Oh, how do we want to do this?
Talk about
How do we want to speak about
I guess we'll have
all
to
of
talk
these
about it.
things?
There's a lot to talk about. Well, hold on. Before we could go step by step, but what's the most unexpected part? You were mentioning this.
There are
I think it's the same.
There's some very weird and confusing shots that are obviously meant to be weird and confusing.
Yeah.
Specifically, Kylo and Rey, possibly together, possibly not, striking down some obsidian pedestal that looks to have some sort of busted ass helmet on top or mask.
Yeah. I can't tell if it's a helmet or not. I don't know. It's
definitely like an obsidian pedestal with like this chunky busted ass thing sitting on top of it. That when they hit the pedestal, that thing like falls off and flips off. But that thing it looks melty, kind of like Vader's mask. But it's not Vader's mask.
Actually, I think it is Vader's mask.
Is it?
Now that I'm looking at it again. All right, this is all real time here. So this is the front. It's pointing directly 90 degrees away from us right now.
It very possibly could be a melted.
That's
Vader
the
mask.
mouthpiece right there.
It's possible.
That's the eyes right there. And then that's the squished back, and that's the side.
So
right there.
I'd love to see what other people think, if they think that's Vader's mask as well. But that's all I could come up with, right? Is it's on this obsidian pedestal.
Yeah, I'm convinced that's Vader's mask.
With what seems to be Vader's mask on top. But where the heck is this location either? It's this white.
There's also this. Look at this. This chamber door that's kind of like his meditation chamber.
Like Vader's meditation chamber. It's this white room with the classic Imperial lighting, but it's white. This door behind it looks.
You don't
like
think this
Vader's
is his castle, do you? It wouldn't be white though.
Kylo repainted it. There's already something broken on the floor. When you're looking at that shot on the right hand side, I think it's red, like red pieces.
Some kind of red crumbles.
There's like red, there's red crumbs on the floor on the right hand side. So someone didn't clean up the castle. But there's already something.
Yeah, that's Vader's
happening.
Mask. It's definitely Vader's mask.
So why is it here now?
Yeah, in this white room. I don't know what this white room is. Maybe this isn't new information to other people. Maybe other people.
Who cares about them? We're finally talking about it. This is what we do.
I mean, that really does look like. Now I want to go back to that scene in Rogue One.
Is this possibly one of the Sith Star Destroyers, like white inside instead of being gray?
You think so?
Like, could this be one of the newer Star Destroyers, the Sith, the one with the Sith troopers and stuff? Could this be Kylo's? Is this Kylo's bedroom? Does he have his own little meditation chamber? Modeled after Grandpa's with his mask on the pedestal there, like he's always had.
Okay, I'm seeing something in the background that I didn't see before. Do you see that belt sitting on the on the table back there
Oh yeah,
that looks like Han's belt
you're right.
a little bit.
Kind of.
That's kind of just based on color. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Is that a belt or is that just a ring of
is
something?
Is this like a trophy room?
I wonder.
And what is?
What's that over here?
Yeah,
To the right of that?
There's a lot of things. Not to mention, like, of all of the stuff we've mentioned here, Rey has her lightsaber that hits this pedestal.
Yeah,
in
the
her
most obvious
offhand,
thing.
in her offhand, she has a freaking dagger,
Yeah.
like a badass, like, I don't know, Sands of Time dagger. What the hell is that?
It's kind of crimped in the middle. It's got almost like an arrowhead, a long arrowhead for the tip.
Yeah, it's
Right
got your
there.
classic dagger blade.
You got your sheath. You got your pointy end. You got your handle for your hand. Yeah.
So why is?
And then he's got circuit time over here on the wall. What's going on over there?
There's so much in this shot that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's a pedestal with what seems to be Vader's helmet.
That
There's
really,
something in the background that looks like Han's belt. Rey's holding a dagger in addition to her lightsaber.
And there's like what looks like Vader's meditation chamber built into a wall behind them. Yeah. Or it's
like
that
that's
door.
just Kylo's shower.
It's that same door. Yeah.
To me, the location is the most confusing part. The location and the dagger.
Yeah.
So I can understand Kylo having the helmet around still, right? That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Him having other things around makes sense. But what the hell is that dagger? Why does she have it? Why have we heard nothing? We've heard nothing about it.
There's so many questions in the 1 or 2 seconds it takes to show this.
Yeah,
this
just
scene.
hitting back and forth on the
frame thing.
on the frame changer button for
YouTube. Yeah.
And that shot is obviously one of the more confusing ones.
I don't know. This really reminds me of Vader's castle. It's white. That's the only thing, you know? Like you said, it's got the classic Imperial lighting. It's got the not diamond. What shape is this? Not trapezoid. Those doors.
Obtuse. I don't know.
Yes, the obtuse shape.
Like well, not an iris door. But yeah, it's
you know what I'm talking about. On the
it's got
Death Star.
the
The Death Star had, and the Star Destroyers had those too. Classic Imperial door style, like that. I don't know. And then you got your Superman Fortress of Solitude crystal towers over here to the right, next to Circuit Town. And then on the floor in front is the red
It's
crumbles.
almost like Cloud City reminiscent, but it's too.
That's what I
It's
thought.
too Imperial to be Cloud City.
Right. That's what I thought was Cloud City too. But that's only based on the color and the stuff hanging from the stalactites and stalagmites.
Right.
Electronic
stalagmites.
yeah.
Stalactites. Now,
Yeah.
online, everyone keeps saying this is the dagger of Mortis. Like, everyone is saying it's the dagger of Mortis. But
Okay.
we've
I
obviously
disagree.
We've had the dagger of Mortis in media. So we have a look of what this thing looks like.
Well, it was in Clone Wars. That's the only place we've seen it.
Right. So
Right.
but we've had a representation in media of what it looks like.
Yeah.
That doesn't look anything like the dagger of Mortis.
Right.
Now, I guess they could change how it looks for the films, but they don't tend to do that with Star Wars stuff once something's been created.
Like we were saying before we started recording, I think this is just the dagger is the dagger of Mortis's mom.
Everything has
this
a
is a
mom.
Rey's mom situation here.
I mean, obviously, the reason people keep saying it's the dagger of Mortis, right, is it's the thing that's capable of killing Force wielders. So if you don't recall from Clone Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka encountered the 3 immortal beings, the father, daughter, and son of the Force.
It was the only thing that was capable of killing one of those beings.
Right, like Force beings, essentially.
Not Force wielders.
It was that metaphysical realm called Mortis.
Yeah.
And the weapon came into play in those episodes. And it was like the only thing that was able to kill one of the embodiments of the Force.
Now Mortis is a real planet in the galaxy.
Right.
So it wasn't like that. I mean, yeah, that's a place that can be traveled to.
Now, I guess what I forgot, the Dagger of Mortis was destroyed with the rest of the metaphysical realm. At least that's what we were led to believe. So this could be some sort of other version or type of that same.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
I think
seems
that's
more like some kind of MacGuffin more than anything.
the only. Yeah, I think the only reason we're entertaining that is because
Trying
it's
to
a
make a
dagger.
reason, trying to make a reason for it because it's so weird.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
exactly.
sense. So we're
Exactly.
trying to come up with
It's
something.
just a dagger. There's nothing else in this shot that would imply it's has magical powers. You know?
Right. And I don't even.
It's just it's weird. Like you said, it's weird to see her holding a dagger
She's already got a blaster and her,
and
her
her saber.
lightsaber,
Yeah.
and now she's got a dagger. I don't.
And so the other thing too, are they fighting in this shot or are they destroying this pedestal with what looks like to be Vader's helmet together?
I can't tell if they're fighting and then hit it in that fight or if they actually strike it down together. Because, I mean, that could be the turning point. That could be the turning point of Kylo deciding that he's going to fight with Rey.
Yeah.
And they're striking down the past together.
It's definitely Vader's helmet. There's no, I can't unsee that now.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Agreed about that being the weirdest
I'm
shot.
trying to remember from all
in the
the
trailer.
rumors if there was a talk of a dagger, and I can't recall off the top of my head.
I think Jason Ward said something about
I thought
it.
I
making
remember
Star Wars.
something about I remember Lando sent them on a mission or a quest to find something, or thought there was something, but I thought that was for the wayfinding device, which, unless that's a dagger, maybe that's what that was. Maybe that's that thing that Kylo was supposed to be finding.
Do you think it's the thing with 3PO is related to that? The wayfinding device? I don't know. That could be like we were talking about that earlier too. The 3PO with all the cables coming out of his head and little Babu Frick working on him.
Little Babu. Oh, little Babu.
I want a Babu figure.
I want to get you, little Babu freak. Who's your freaky Babu?
Come here, you little Babu.
Yeah, he's so cute. This
Hey,
tiny
Babu.
this tiny little beardy mustache face.
Come
You
here,
just wanna
Babu.
Squish it. You squish his little Babu freak face.
Um,
Anyways, I've got that out of my system now. He's
Sorry.
so cute. He's like a tiny old man, like a little tiny pocket old man, little pocket grandpa.
What was I saying?
C-3PO has the wires coming out of his head.
Yes,
He's a
Babu Frick
freak.
is with a little Babu.
Oh, did you, Babu?
The little Babu is working on 3PO's head, and Zori's there.
Yep, Zori
And
is there.
there was a promotional shot, we were looking at it beforehand, of Zori Bliss holding what looks like some kind of data disc or something.
Yeah, and it looks very reminiscent of the like the port on the back of 3PO's head.
Yeah.
It looks vaguely like that. So it's possible it's some
kind of accessory for 3PO or something that can fit
it's gonna
inside 3PO.
accessorize. It could be a memory.
So is that
a memory chip or
right?
something?
Is
right?
that like a data disc, a memory chip for 3PO, or is that the wayfinding device that 3PO can interface with?
I mean, again, the rumors were there was some. Wait, is that? What was the rumor of the runes that C-3PO couldn't read? Were they on a dagger?
I don't remember.
I'm trying
That
to
sounds
remember. We
familiar.
talked about this. We talked about runes
Yeah.
being on something and 3PO not being able to read them, and that's why they had to
Well,
go
shoot.
undergo this process.
If only we listened to the podcast.
Who would do such a thing? I wonder if the runes are on that dagger, and this is the thing that C-3PO has to. So this
Well, why
dagger.
she got it? Why she have the dagger?
Is it a?
She's
like
not 3PO.
Is it a Sith artifact?
That is probably true. I would guess if Rey has it, there's a significance to it. It's not just a whatever thing.
Some kind of Sith artifact?
Yeah, but not the dagger of Mortis.
No, that would be too confusing.
Too hard to explain.
That would be
yeah.
too confusing.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Again, like going back to the stuff with what were we talking about? Were we talking about Snoke? Trying to explain like all the intricacies of his story and
Right.
the or how he got connected with the First Order, like all the stuff in books that's been in books so far.
Well, it's like the stuff that's been in the Thrawn books with the Grisk and the what are those guys? The navigators.
The attendants.
The attendants that are basically like the Chiss navigators. And that's Snoke had those navigators, which I guess the Grisk were using as well. So there's
Yeah.
a bunch of deep cuts that they've added in
Yeah.
to how some of this stuff kind of loops together, but they're not going to get into that in the movie.
I don't think so. Not to mention the attendants. We saw them for the first time in Last Jedi, and then they were, the more information was added about them in the Thrawn books,
Right.
with the Grisk and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So it's kind of, that's backwards. I don't think they would pull. There was something else we were talking about, deep cuts. When we're talking about deep cuts, like they're not going to bring stuff in, obscure things from the shows or the books or comics into the movies because it's just too. It's going to be too much to explain.
It's way too much. So this dagger, Sith artifact, could have some sort of, could have ties to what's going on with C-3PO and Zori. But obviously, like we said, in that room where Babu is working on 3PO, Zori's there.
Yeah.
So we can assume this is on Kijimi, which is where Babu and Zori are both located, because Zori's part of the was it some spice smuggler group?
Yeah.
She's like the leader of that.
Do you want to just play the trailer and go through it now that we've got the weirdest stuff out of the way?
I mean, everything else is just cool shots for the most part.
Yeah.
Except for the very end that we haven't even talked about yet.
Well, I want to do a little bit of commentary on it as the shots go, because we can connect it to other stuff we've seen.
Sure.
So let me play it. All right, so it opens up on a forest planet. Rey runs over with her lightsaber, blocking a shot from a training droid.
Yeah, it's like chasing her, and she's just like,
which is the same thing from the first trailer where she throws her saber at that tree. Yeah. Remember? And there's like a training droid in the background.
Yeah.
So this is probably. Do you think this is Dakar?
No, because they all fled Dakar.
Or
they wouldn't go back to Dakar.
Well, I think this is going back.
No, because Dakar was instantly attacked right after the first movie.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's an instinct.
It is a forest planet, which we do see that Tantive flying off of a forest planet.
Yeah, so that's in a little bit. So yeah, she's running through the forest, and then it cuts to her. What looks like in the Death Star wreckage.
It looks like she's climbing around the Death Star. Yeah.
Let me turn this.
Feeling.
It's interesting that Finn is the one describing the Force.
I love that Finn talking about their connection and stuff. Like he's coming full circle on, I don't know, just understanding and being a part of this.
Who do you think he's describing the Force to? I wonder. Because it sounds like that's what he's describing, right?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's right before his imposed sex scene.
The Force brought us together.
See?
Yeah. Oh, he's talking about Poe right there. No.
Okay. He's talking to Poe. He's trying to explain why Poe needs to sleep with him.
The Force brought us together. There's no denying that.
Yeah. This movie is going to meet everyone's needs.
So Rey's running across this cliff thing
this
in
jungle.
the forest, and then a shot of Lando in the middle of the group of the Resistance.
Yeah, and in some of these shots, there's someone has noticed Maz.
Oh, really?
In one of these shots, I saw a screenshot of it earlier today, and I don't remember where it was.
You think she's in this group one? Oh, right there. Yeah,
she's in the corner. Yeah, she's on the right hand side. So Maz is in there.
Oh, wow. You got your blue, obviously your blue fuzzy alien man.
You got some blue fuzzies. You got the fishman.
You got 3PO here. You got your Akbar stand-in.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some on Kala guys, which is great.
So this is under the Tantive 4. It has to be, right?
What,
the shot?
Would it be the 4? No, wasn't it the 3?
I don't know. Was it the 4?
Why not?
Why not the 4? Why not anything?
It was the rumor, or at least the assumption, has been that it was Bail. This is Bail's Tantive, because the other Tantive, Leia's Tantive, was destroyed as a show of to make a
was it
a
though?
Scene. Leia's Tantive was.
Oh,
destroyed.
he said Vader says it.
It was dismantled, like above a planet to like prove a point.
Oh, well, doesn't Vader say it? No, he says send out a distress call.
Right.
That everyone aboard was killed.
I believe it was in one of the comics, if I remember correctly, where it specifies that Leia's Tantive was destroyed.
Okay.
So
well, whatever this
so
is.
the
This
assumption has
Corellian
been that this is
shit.
possibly Bale's Tantive, which I think was Tantive 3.
Okay. Well, whatever this is. I mean, yeah, because there's the side.
Right.
Those big
Definitely
cylinder
seems like
things.
the Tantive. A Tantive.
Is that what Lando shows up in? Maybe.
Well, I mean, it takes off from this forest planet,
We're
which
not
looks like it's been hidden for a while.
Good people will fight. if
Finally,
we lead-
so that shot right after that group shot, we finally see Dominique Monaghan in something. Dominic
And
Monaghan
Rose.
and
Rose.
in something.
Kelly Marine Train and stuff.
So
yeah.
so he's still in the movie, which
Right.
is comforting. I mean, obviously we've seen stuff. There's been some product stuff with him on it, but
Yeah.
it's nice to see that he's definitely still in the
Yeah.
movie.
Let me go back a little bit.
We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
Is that Poe talking or is that Lando?
That's Poe.
Okay.
That's definitely Poe.
I thought for a second it was Lando.
He's taking ownership now. He's being a leader now.
Okay. So again, Forest Planet, shot of Poe, Finn, and Chewie next to Poe's X-wing.
Yep.
So they're about to go off and do
And
something.
that Tantive
And then the
takes off
Tantive, yeah,
from or
takes off or lands. I don't know
or
what's
coming
going on
in,
there.
yeah, onto this forest planet.
Someone's not flying it very well.
People keep telling me they know me.
Okay,
I
so
love these. There's so many good lines in this trailer too,
yeah,
like this.
Luke's line, and then Rey here.
People keep telling me they know me.
Yeah,
No one does.
But I do.
But I do.
yeah.
People keep
It
telling
gives
me
me
they
chills
know me.
every time I listen
Yeah.
to that.
So that's such a screw you line to throw in the trailer.
Yeah,
People keep telling me they know me, but they don't. So that could be that's
very
such
ambiguous.
that's such an ambiguous and could be so
it could be interpreted.
unimportant, right? People keep saying they know
Yeah.
me, just saying like they know what I'm going through, or they
Right. It could
or
be
people
interpreted
could
a lot of
legitimately
ways.
be saying they know her, and she's
Right.
like, "What the shit? No one know. What are you talking about?"
I'm nobody. Yeah, right. Yeah, it could be interpreted a lot of different ways. I like it.
Which is a fantastic line to throw in the trailer. It's just super frustrating.
Yeah. So they're on top of the Death Star wreckage right now, which is on a planet that we recently learned the name of.
Oh yeah, it is. It's not Endor. It is Kef Bir.
So this is a completely separate planet.
It is an ocean moon, which is the home world of Jaina and her resistance fighters.
Yeah.
Her like horse people. The people aren't horses. They're people that ride horses.
They are not horse people.
No, they're not. It's not
People
it's
made
not a
out of
group
horse.
centaurs. And that's where some of these remains of the Death Star 2 landed, in massively large,
Chunks.
still put together chunks. Even though that
I mean, the
nuclear-
entire throne room is there, as we see later on.
right.
So, or at least the window part of it with the literal throne.
That sparkly explosion left a lot of big chunks that we apparently didn't get to see in that shot.
So is this a moon in the same system as Endor?
It's an ocean moon, so it's whatever system. It just has moons for every Captain Planet person. It's got,
Every environment.
forest, water,
What was all the
Earth,
Air?
There's an air,
Air?
planet. Yeah, it's just a gas planet. Yeah, that would be ridiculous if there's a forest moon and an ocean moon, because then that's I don't know. It's just too convenient.
Wasn't one of them like heart or friendship or something?
There's a friendship moon.
Yeah. Anyway, they're on this weird planet that somehow has the wreckage of the Death Star 2.
Right.
I don't understand how that's possible.
What, such large pieces of it?
Well, yeah, that, and why is it not Endor? It exploded over Endor. It was in the gravity pull of Endor.
If chunks that big had hit Endor that close, it probably would have knocked Endor out of the sky.
Well, they knocked the sky out of Endor.
People were just on this planet one day, and just this large chunk just slowly drifted down and landed in the water. It didn't crash. It's really, really far away. It just slowly shot through space. Yeah, it drifted back and forth like a feather, and then just boop, landed down. And then tidal waves and the whole planetary destruction from the ripple.
All right.
No one does.
No one does.
But I do.
Oh, him walking out of the mist is such a cool shot too.
Yeah. You can't see him at all. And then
There's
he
so
just
many cool
appears.
just hero shots in this trailer.
So, huge force of TIE fighters flying towards a giant
Yeah,
ice
like,
chunk
full on legion of TIE fighters flying towards this ice chunk, which
in
is
space.
Kijimi?
I assume. Just a chunk of ice in space.
Yeah, it's just like this big, it's not even a planet.
And then
Oh,
one of the weirdest shots, the
this
throne.
spider ass throne.
Ancient, it looks like.
Yeah, it's like,
Ancient Sith throne.
it's like the Sithiest you could ever make a throne look.
Right.
Just carved out of stone or rock or obsidian with these giant spikes like
Yeah.
Darth Maul's head coming out of the side.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
it's so cool.
we hear
looking.
Palpatine for the first time.
Long have I waited.
Which implies that he's been alive this whole time.
Yeah, his whole line. I mean, we're gonna hear it, but I wrote it
Let me
down,
just
too.
play it all then. Hold on, let me just play it all.
Long have I waited. And now you're coming together. Is your undoing.
Okay.
All right.
Long have I waited, and now your coming together is your undoing.
Yeah.
Also, Ian McDermott, what a fantastic monster!
He sounds great.
Look, just the old you can hear in the voice, and I know he's old, but just like obviously he could do.
He sounds like
Palpatine.
classic Palpatine.
He could do Palpatine in a number of ways in this version, right?
Yeah.
But like at least how we're hearing him here is it almost sounds like an old, tired Palpatine.
You think so?
To me, it does.
I think it sounds like a classic.
But he sounds older. Sounds confident like Palpatine.
Have I waited? Long have I waited.
That sounds like classic Palpatine to me.
I think that the next line is where it sounds.
And now you're coming together.
That
It's
one,
like it's
that
like
right
it's
there.
like Gandalf,
Yeah,
like making a speech.
Saruman.
Where it's this just
Is your undoing.
like he sounds strong but weak at the same time.
Yeah,
Which is so cool. I don't know, just
he sounds strong but weak.
yeah, but just giving him character, which you freaking have to do. But of the versions of Palpatine we have gotten before,
Yeah,
where he's very confident and very sure and very boisterous, I guess.
yeah.
To me, here he's just like, and I mean, we'll have to see what he even looks like, right? We haven't seen him, but he's just like, now you're coming together. Is your like? It's just this measured.
Well, it's also edited, so
Well, sure, but it's just the way it's just this measured confidence, but
yeah,
who knows how decrepit he actually, he is too.
right.
And it may be him putting on that for Rey, where he's not decrepit, because he pulls that too.
He's full of tricks.
He's a tricksy old wrinkle bag.
In the middle of that, we get one of the coolest shots of the trailer.
Oh yeah,
This classic Imperial Star Destroyer coming up
just shooting out of the ground, slowly rising out of ice,
ground or
just the
ice or
ground?
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With like the biggest bolt of lightning striking all around it.
Yeah. And then probably the second coolest shot, this shot of
The giant shot of this whole fleet of buckets,
civilian navy
this whole
resistance
civilian
fleet.
navy with the ghost front, like up front, right by the Falcon.
Yeah, and confirmed to be
Yeah.
the ghost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got like your Mon Calamari ships in here. You got Nebulon B ships in here, frigates, all kinds of little stuff. A bunch of some Hammerhead corvettes in here. Like the classic Rebel transport.
Yeah.
cargo ships. It looks like maybe
It's
over
just
there.
like every ship they've got, every possible
Everything.
ship they
Yeah.
could pull together. They
I
have.
thought I saw down here. I thought this was Dash Rendar's ship, and I thought that would be amazing to see that.
that would be cool if it's just
that-
like in a shot in the
because
background.
it could just be. It doesn't have to be literally his ship, but it could be that Corellian
That's-
frigate. But
that's-
it's not.
that's style. Yeah.
It's not. And yeah, and there's a bunch of Mon Calamari.
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
There's a big one back here to the left, and then there's a.
Your
There was another big one around here somewhere, but anyway, a lot of stuff. Oh, it looked like, what's the Mandalorian's ship that has a name?
Scythe.
This down there. You see that in the bottom left?
Yeah. It kind of looks like it.
It looks a lot like it. The same type of ship.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like they dug deep in their.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot
Ship's
of Easter
catalog.
eggs. I'm sure there's gonna be like a lot of Easter eggs in that
battle.
in that
yeah,
battle
for
with
sure.
stuff in the background.
you're coming
I can't tell who's flying the Falcon here.
No, it's two,
I assume Lando and Chewie.
probably.
together.
Let's get a shot of that. So
A shot of the Falcon cockpit with everybody walking in it.
Is your
And then something
Some-
exploding in
it
space.
seems very small.
There's in the foreground there's a Imperial Star Destroyer. Not the bridge, but you
And
know.
then some.
Yeah, there's the engines right
Yeah.
there. The bridge is up here.
Is that ice chunk?
So it's an Imperial Star Destroyer facing this explosion, and then what looks like an exploding ice chunk.
So it could be either whatever that ice chunk we saw before is, and if that's Kijimi,
Yeah,
well, it's gone now.
right.
And this is obviously what we've seen, those giant lasers on the bottom of these Star Destroyers that are supposedly
yeah.
like Death Star type weapons.
Uh-huh.
This is probably that.
It
in
shows
action.
one. It shows Zori's Y-wing. So yeah, if Zori's Y-wing is in here, then I assume that this is over.
Yeah.
is your
Kijimi?
undoing.
So a little speeder flying towards the Death Star wreckage, and then little Babu.
Oh, little Babu.
Get that back to Babu. Here we go. We got a tiny little man.
He's such an old little man.
He tiny.
What
BB-8 and Dio,
are you doing there?
Zori, Poe, Finn, Rey.
Yeah, so Zori, Poe, Finn, Ray, Dio, and BB-8 all in the
Alright,
room
3PO.
with 3PO and Babu, whatever's happening with
Doing
him.
something.
Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
Oh, and R2, of course.
So like what you were saying, that question from Poe and that line that 3PO said could very well not be related at all.
Together,
It
yeah.
could be clever editing.
Yeah. But yeah, so going back to the 3PO thing. Yeah, are they loading data? Are they retrieving data from him?
Or it could be tying him into this could possibly wipe his memory. And those lines
Yeah.
could be not not edited that way.
So they wipe his memory at the end of Revenge of the Sith when he gets on the Tantive 4.
Yeah,
for the
3PO's
first time.
memory gets wiped, R2's doesn't.
They give him to Captain Antilles.
Right.
Or they're given both 3PO and R2. And Captain Antilles, tells them to get their memory wiped.
Right.
So, is it possible that he has? What would he have?
I don't think. I mean, the more I think about that, and even if that's possibly the Tantive 3, I don't know how much it could actually be his own memory versus
Memories of
whatever
something
thing they're getting from Zori that has to do with some Sith
Yeah,
something probably.
yeah,
Especially if it has to do with his eyes turning red.
yeah. So that shot from the first trailer, I think it's got to be like data loading or something, right?
And again, like it makes me think of deep cut, like thinking of deep cuts, which they're not going to do, right? It's not going to. Oh, what's Afra's droid, the black one?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like
I don't remember.
they
the
wouldn't
name.
pull in like this is something from him that with information he had about Vader, like right? They wouldn't pull in that stuff with because his eyes
would-
turn red. Of
that would be
course,
pretty
the black,
crazy, yeah.
the black droid's eyes are red.
It's B. Doesn't it start with a B?
I'm gonna find it.
Something like that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. She's got that protocol droid, and then she's also got a black other droid, doesn't she? Doesn't she have two droids?
Yeah.
Dr. Aphra you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I cannot remember the droid's name.
Yeah, so I mean there's the whole the wayfinding device thing. How that all ties in.
000. That was his name.
Oh, that's easy enough. Oh, the B thing was that's the little astromech.
Yeah. So
she has.
000 is the black protocol droid that had red eyes.
Yeah.
And obviously they spent a good amount of time around Vader
In the comics.
in the comics.
Yeah.
I mean that could easily be a deep cut they could pull because they've been doing so much with that. But that also seems like there's too much. I mean, I guess it could just be a call out because you don't have to explain it, I guess, that much. But it also seems like
maybe.
too much to throw into the movie.
So what's the idea? That they get literally his eyes?
Well, that's why his eyes turns red. Is because maybe it's his memory chip or something.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I feel that's a stretch too, I feel like. But this wayfinding device, was it used to find the thing with the runes?
Who knows?
What was the rumor around it?
The wayfinding device supposedly that Kylo was supposed to be finding was supposedly to help find Palpatine or the remnants, like the Sith, whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's keep going. You got Poe, Finn, and Chewie fighting their way through some First Order ship
Hallway.
or base or something. Yeah, hallway. And then Leia and Rey
Confronting fear is the destiny of a Jedi.
with Luke talking over it. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then there's the Sand Planet, which we have a name for, and I can't remember what it was now. It was in that EW article. Do you remember that? We've talked about it before.
Sephora.
Yeah, that's it.
It was something
The
with an S,
Sephora
wasn't it?
planet. Yeah, here we go. Lando and Chewie and the Falcon fighting stuff. Okay, so here's the Y-Wing.
Pasana, not Sephora.
Close. Same number of
Sure,
syllables.
Right.
So here's Zori's Y-Wing shooting at one of those super laser things
Yeah, on the bottom,
of
the
a
Star
Star
Destroyers.
Destroyer with another one in the background. One of hundreds
Yeah.
that are apparently out here.
Many hundreds. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that shot from the first trailer of just a wall of Star
Yeah,
Destroyers
with the lightning.
With the lightning, yeah. So and then okay.
the horse people, again, not
Okay.
people that are horses, but people that ride on horses.
What is happening here?
They are riding on top of a Star Destroyer. They are
On
galloping.
horses.
They are galloping down a Star Destroyer
With BB-8 running alongside
on
him.
space horses.
Why?
Well, I mean, so
Answer
obviously,
me. Answer me.
They're still obviously they're not in space because if that happens, then this movie has jumped the shark. I mean, the Star Destroyers.
You got a guy over here that looks like a knight. Looks like he's holding a sword with a little
There's just one guy in the background that's a full-on knight with a joust.
with a do-rag.
I mean, we saw a Star Destroyer coming out of the ground earlier, so it's very possible that there's one that's, I don't know, either grounded or still on the ground, or
They're in some kind of atmosphere.
hopefully not flying anywhere at the time because this is
It's
very
going into the
dangerous.
atmosphere. Well, yeah, what's the plan here? Where are they gonna go
You
until
need
they
to get
to
your
the tip
horses
of this thing?
off the top of that ship.
Are they trying to get in? Is that what's happening? Answer my question.
They're trying to weigh it down. Oh, shot of Kylo and Rey in the
the
throne,
Death Star throne
the
room.
Death Star throne room.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
with
just,
Palpatine's
again,
throne.
Just
sitting
such
there.
a cool shot.
Yeah.
Oh man,
What are they gonna do?
kiss.
Are they gonna make out?
They're also gonna make out.
Oh. Okay, and then we've got Finn running across what looks like the Death Star wreckage, yelling Rey
Yeah, and
with
Janna's
Janna
in the background. So I'm guessing this is possibly when Kylo comes out of the mist.
Looking very Han Solo there.
Yeah.
The vest and the blue pants.
And then the whole obsidian.
Do you think he's actually wearing Han's clothes from the Falcon?
That would be inappropriate.
Why? Because he's dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's mostly it.
Yeah, and then the thing
And
we
they
talked about,
that whole
Vader's
obsidian pylon with the Vader helmet and dagger.
Space horses
them,
again.
Them still running down this Death Star. And that Death Star they're running on, the gun emplacements are shooting into the sky at things. This is not safe.
And you got a little horse guy over here on the left jumping over the cannons and stuff.
This is
Look at that.
not time for dressage.
For theatrics. Look at that.
Oh gosh.
Look at that jump.
It's very
Whoa,
dangerous.
look at that.
Everything that's happening on the Star Destroyer with horses is
These
not.
horses have short legs too. They look like little pigs.
It's not safe for space horses to be in this situation.
Who do we got down here? There's BB-8, there's Finn, Janna,
100 horses.
and then resistance fighters, yeah.
What are you gonna do with a horse on a Star Destroyer?
Ties flying around. They're running towards the bridge, it looks like.
Horses are just gonna jump through the bridge windows. They're gonna
Actually,
trample everyone.
This doesn't look like
Is it not a Star Destroyer?
this doesn't look like an Imperial Star Destroyer. This
Either
looks like
way, it's
First
not
Order.
safe to be running on top of a spaceship with a bunch of horses.
Okay, yeah, true. That if that's the bridge, that's a First Order.
Yeah, possibly.
Bridge.
Yeah.
So why is this First Order ship in the middle of all these Imperial Star Destroyers?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, lots of questions about that.
Ties fly by. You got an X-wing, a B wing.
B-wing, yep. So there's
Too much going on in this shot
kinda
because there's
space
still
battle.
the hundreds and hundreds of
I mean,
Imperial
look at that,
Star
just
Destroyers.
a sea of Star Destroyers
Yeah.
back there, all facing the same way.
What the hell are you gonna do about that? And this begs the question, right? There's this First Order Star Destroyer that's on the ground
Or
that
somewhere.
that may be disabled to some capacity. How much is the First Order okay with what's happening here? Right? Because
Yeah,
we talked about
how
that recently.
involved-
We talked about that on a recent episode. Like,
Yeah,
how aware are they that
that
oh,
Palpatine
shit.
has this.
Oh shit! We're not in charge anymore. A fleet larger than ours has shown
Yeah.
up.
Okay, so related to that, we saw somewhere that the Sith troopers
Yes.
are being commanded, or it was some description about like on a Black Series figure or something. They're commanded by Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Yes.
Inspired, like the wording was strange. The wording was something like powered by the ancient legend of the Sith, or it was something along
Right.
those lines.
Yeah.
So
It basically
Okay,
like
going back to-
like his lineage gives him power over gives him the leadership ability for them. Like
yeah,
they report to
something-
him based off of his ability, like, based off of him being worthy.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we've already talked about. What is this? Does Kylo turn to the Sith? Does he?
Right. Yeah.
Is he searching? Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I know.
Harumph.
Yeah, it's too. I don't know.
It's too hard.
It hurts my brain.
But yeah, I mean, when was this connection between the Sith / Imperial Remnant / Palpatine made with the First Order? And so, like, the First Order, I didn't realize, I guess, which, I mean, Bloodlines goes over this, like we've talked about before, but the First Order came directly from the Imperial Remnants that were sent to the Unknown Regions. It wasn't like they developed separately, like we've kind of talked about before. It's
So,
Imperial Remnants
do
went
we
to
know
the
that though?
I think so, yeah.
So you've got in Bloodline, in the book, that Leia finds this.
A lot of
basically-
this comes from the Last Jedi and Force Awakens novelizations.
right?
Those are
where-
the sources being pulled for those kind of
right, and then
statements.
Leia finds in Bloodlines, she finds this force basically being built up. She finds the weapons and equipment stockpile and finds out
yeah,
that,
and there are
and
senators
finds out the senators that are backing it.
are sympathizing with them.
So
Yeah.
do we have two separate things happening here?
I
Do
don't
we
think so.
have the remnant that left with Admiral Ray Sloan
Yeah.
and all of them that went to the unknown regions based off of the information from Palpatine's what were they called? Not spires.
I know Sentinels, right?
From the Sentinels and from the Sentinels were part of it, and then from the various locations he had that were calculating.
Oh, those places.
That were
Oh, yeah,
calculating the passage through the unknown regions.
Yeah.
Did they leave while also senators, among other Imperials, built up a complete separate force?
I don't think so.
Did they separate into unknown regions and known regions?
No, because I think the command structure, the military knowledge, and everything like that had to have come from Imperial remnants, not
I
just
guess.
nowhere. You know.
Sure. I mean,
I think
they're,
it's
they're all
connected.
they're all Imperial remnants. That's the thing. But did one not follow the orders into the unknown regions, stay here and build the First Order,
No.
and then you have the one from the unknown regions that became this freak massive power?
No, I think they're connected, but how
There's-
much
there's
was
still
Palpatine directly involved? I don't know.
sure.
I think that's a separate.
I mean, there's
question.
obviously still a very large contingent
Yeah.
of ships that
Right.
the First Order couldn't have known about, right? Or is this a First Order fleet?
That's another question. Yeah, if they knew about this fleet or were connected to it somehow, why haven't they been?
Because this is
using it?
supposedly the Sith fleet.
Yeah.
It's supposedly called the ones with the planet destroying weapons are the Sith fleet that is handed over to Kylo. But where the hell does it come from? Right? There's so many questions with that alone. Anyways, trailer.
Let's keep going. So there's a shot of Kylo in a lightning room,
you know how you go when you're in the lightning room.
which
Man,
goes directly to the second
final
best part of this trailer.
the final shot. You've got Rey on the concrete block floor that goes on seemingly forever into the background
With lightning going around her.
with lightning going around her. So
And in the foreground, you've got the one, the only.
Mecha Palp.
This Sunday. Mecca Palp.
So he's in some kind of chair, some kind of device
That much we could tell.
with tubes and metal.
Moving on.
And the way it moves is very strange. It kind of bobs up and down like it's definitely
like it's walking.
It's definitely moving.
Yes.
And is moving towards Rey because you can tell that by the way movement works in physics. And Rey starts to back up as well.
Yeah.
So she's backing away from this thing that's starting to move towards her. But it like slowly kind of bounces up and down. Like one, either it's flying, it's levitating, and Palpatine has some kind of floaty god chair. Or two, he's in some kind of mech.
Spider chair.
Or he's the guy from Wild Wild West.
Yeah. This is a spider robot. Oh, wow. I forgot
it's
about
Loveless. It's Dr. Loveless from Wild Wild West, where he's got a
Man.
giant spider robot that he's going to attack Rey with.
that. Why did I have to remember that?
You're welcome.
No thanks.
I remember that movie too much. But yeah, the way it bobs is almost like it's walking forward, not like it's floating.
Yeah.
Which makes me think of Wolfenstein and Mecha Hitler. And I can just see Palpatine in this giant mech suit, like from Avatar, with the arms and the giant legs, and him like running her down.
Yeah.
But they can't put Palpatine in a mech, right? Like that, we can't do
That's
that.
too much. To have him come back at all, I feel like you can't.
I can see him levitating in some kind of throne chair thing. I could see him doing that and
Sure.
it not being ridiculous. If he's in something with legs that aren't his, that's too far.
Oh, so if they are his legs, that makes it better? If he just has super long legs, he's really tall,
He's big-
and he's walking in his chair towards her, that's better?
Well,
If it has any sort of physical aspect to this, yes, it would be weird.
yeah, I just don't want him in a mech suit. But the tubes like coming around and up over the top, it makes me think of Bane as well.
Yeah.
where he's gonna
He's got
juice
his
up.
supply of venom.
Palpatine's gonna juice up in his mech suit and then take on Rey. And there's gonna be some big weird mechanized Palpatine, jacked mechanized Palpatine.
Is that where your avatar comes from? That idea? Where did that idea come from?
I wonder.
You put Palpatine's head on like a bodybuilder's body, and you
did.
use it for your avatar now.
Yeah.
And I can't remember why.
Because we discussed the possibility of Palpatine making clones or like making himself
That's
better,
right.
and this whole time he's just been like getting jacked to fight them back. So we're gonna find Palpatine looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger from the 70s, and he's just gonna be ripped
Yeah.
in his mech suit. He's gonna have a giant top half. He's gonna be this upside down triangle with like just withered old man legs. So he has to have the mech suit to walk around because he never did. He skipped leg day.
Okay.
But it really looks like it's like the movement looks like a bobbly walk forward, and I
Yeah.
don't want him to be in a mech suit.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Oh, I saw. There's a hand comes out. See,
A Palpa
on the
hand?
left. You got your little Palpa finger right there. Look at that.
Yeah,
Little-
like the lightning hand is coming forward.
Uh-oh.
Like the lightning fingers are coming out.
Uh-oh.
They're all wrinkle pokers.
What if this wasn't a perspective thing and it was literally a hand coming out of his chest? It's like a David Lynch movie.
And then another Palpatine crawls out of that Palpatine.
It's Quado.
A younger, hotter Palpatine crawls out of the old Palpatine like a cocoon.
He's got a little Quado Palpatine on his chest. That's the real one that died in the shaft, and then these guys are, this is the Matt Smith clone or whatever.
So, but yeah, I mean, I love that too. You know, like his hand is coming out like we know what that hand does. We know what that hand can do.
We know where that hand's been.
But like it's coming out in his whole creepy, about to blast you
bet
with
it's
some
coming
lightning.
out.
And that's when she takes that step back is when his hand comes out, which is like so disturbing
Yeah.
because we know what's about to happen. Maybe. And she's reaching for her blaster, it looks like, kind of.
I don't know. She's got both her fists closed up, her hands balled up in fists, and one of her fists is near her blaster.
But yeah, this shot, everything about the shot is what is Palpatine in? Why is it bobbing up and down?
Yeah.
And I really don't want it to be a mech.
You know,
Otherwise,
something
there's still lightning and stuff too, so I'm guessing it's on the same planet where the space battle's happening.
yeah,
all
where the Star
lightning and
Destroyers
stuff
were,
is.
where the shot of Kylo was, all
Yeah.
of that. Something I just thought of now too was Rey has no context for Palpatine.
Yeah. That we've been given. I'm assuming she knows what this is by the time she confronts
Well,
him.
so let's assume that everything we know about Rey so far is true. That she's a nobody. Luke Skywalker was just a myth to her, much
Right.
less an emperor of the galaxy. You know, like she has no frame of reference.
She took the Force the Jedi texts, but those were old. That wouldn't explain Palpatine.
That's not.
That would explain the Sith. It wouldn't
The
explain
Sith
the
and the
Sal- it
Jedi,
wouldn't
maybe, yeah.
explain Palpatine.
right.
So at some point along the movie, it's what I think that the runtime has been
155 minutes.
unofficially announced as 2.5 hours.
No, it's official.
Is
155
it?
minutes.
So it's 2.5 hours.
Save any kind of edits that happen.
Right.
But yeah, over 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think it's like 235, something like that, right?
What's 155? Yeah.
So it's 230. it's 2 hours 35 minutes. I mean, that's a pretty good length.
That's as long
of
as
the
The Last
movie.
Jedi, if not
It's
a little bit longer.
I think it's 1 minute longer. Like technically, it's 1 minute longer than Last Jedi. So I mean, at some point along the way, she's got to find out what a Palpatine is. I would hope, because if she's confronting him without knowing what this old wrinkle sack is, she's not going to do well.
That's the title of the episode. You got to find out what a Palpatine is.
Okay, got it.
Anyway. But yeah, she has no...
That's like my Star Wars evangelism shirt. Where just like
You
you
gotta
gotta
find
find out what a Palpatine is.
You're going door to door.
Excuse me, sir.
Your little pamphlet just says that on
Yeah.
it.
I'm here to talk to you about our Palpatine. What's that? You've got to find out what a Palpatine is.
Here's a pamphlet.
Here's a pamphlet.
And it just says that on it.
You've got
You
to.
turn it around, and it's that picture of Ian McDermott on the set of Revenge of the Sith, where he's like with the sunglasses.
With the sunglasses, yeah.
In the Palpatine
Now I
makeup.
want to make that pamphlet.
This is a good shirt or something. Yeah.
Oh man.
This is good.
So at some point, she's got to find out what a Palpatine
Yeah,
is.
so
right?
I'm looking at her expression and her body language right now in the shot.
She seems pretty-
Body language.
She seems worried. I mean, she takes a step back. She's obviously like
She seems
moving
guarded,
away
but
from this
not
thing.
not terrified. You know?
Dark Ray. Well, okay, so obviously think of other trailers, right?
I actually forgot about Dark Ray.
We have a vision. We hope. We assume it's a vision of her
Yeah.
as a Sith, as a dark Force user. So I think he's been propositioning her
Oh.
with the Force.
This is 2019.
This is not the right climate. I mean, so the assumption, at least my assumption, is that he's been like propositioning her with power
Yeah.
throughout the film. So she's had.
I don't know about
She's
that.
possibly had some awareness of him based off of that.
Okay, let's say
I don't know.
Kylo is aware of this Sith fleet and it gets handed to him.
Right.
Whatever. Kylo and Rey connect later on in the movie. I just all that to say, I think maybe Kylo is the one pulling her towards Palpatine.
Possibly.
That it's similar to the way he did with Snoke. He brought her to Snoke.
But I feel like before
Is
we
Kylo introducing her to Palpatine?
I feel like before we face down, like we before we
Is
have
he
this,
when he's talking about they're coming together? Is he talking about Rey and Kylo?
I wonder. So we're obviously gonna have this showdown. To me, at least, I would expect Kylo's redemption to have happened before the showdown. So I wouldn't expect him to pull her into this and then find redemption, because that would be very cliche for Star Wars. Especially given that happened last movie.
What?
He brought Rey to the guy and then was like, no, but I don't wanna, and then killed the bad guy.
Oh.
Like, I can't see them doing that again with him.
Yeah.
So I would expect his redemption to have happened before this here.
Man, this one has another Death Star in it. It has Palpatine showing her a space battle and propositioning her like he
Yeah.
did Luke. And it repeats the last, so it's just repeating all of the other movies.
I don't know. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
a lot
think-
of assumptions to be. We can make a lot of assumptions off of these like
Yeah.
small shots,
Right.
but it's a very strange shot that I just want to know. Like, obviously Palpatine's the big reveal. Palpatine's still the big unknown.
Yeah.
We still have no information how, why, what, where, when,
Mm-hmm.
and they're keeping him hidden. But it's like that's all I can think about is like, what does he even look like now?
Yeah.
What has he been doing? Where'd he go? Where did he come from and where did he go? Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know. It hurts. It hurts my brain. I don't like it.
It does hurt.
The end. The episode just ends right there.
Bye.
I don't. It's just there's so, and this is the final trailer. Like, they've made it very apparent this is the final trailer.
Yeah.
So and it's
They
only,
called it final trailer.
and it's only
It's only looks at your watch.
it's only 9/15. It's only the end of October. We still have 2 months,
Mhm.
so they're not going to
Yeah.
give us anything else new for 2 months.
We'll get other stuff. We'll get probably
Teasers.
articles.
The
and little
final
things.
almost teaser. The definitely maybe before the last teaser.
The definitely almost final teaser.
Could it be the final teaser? No.
They start asking questions. Is this the final?
Should this be the final teaser?
What do you think? What's this? It's just an image.
Is this a teaser?
It's a picture of a used cup. What's this? I found it under my fridge.
I mean, even since this, there's been like other commercials or other things that have had other footage that wasn't in this trailer. There's like a new was it American Airlines or Spirit Airlines or one of the airlines had like their safety video, and in the background of it, it had an extended shot of Poe and Finn and 3PO on that skiff thing.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how they're gonna leak this, is it?
No.
Through ads for other companies in the background.
No, I mean there's been a Porsche, a Porsche ad that had the whole TIE fighter flying towards the Porsche, but like it did it Ray. Though I really wanted the Porsche to just like suddenly do a front flip over it, but it didn't.
Like,
It didn't do
great.
that. Yeah.
Oh, what a great commercial!
If the
that would
Porsche
be.
had just leapt off the ground,
Yeah.
it would have been fantastic. It didn't do that.
Dang.
If only.
So anyway, my whole point was that just based on her body language, that's what led me down that trail of she doesn't really know who Palpatine is. She has no frame of reference. There's no like respect necessarily.
She only knows what she's been told probably at this point,
Right.
or has been told by him through visions or
Yes.
forced discussions.
Yeah.
When
Point
Palpatine
being,
presents himself to her as the
point
hot,
being,
the
there's no
hot, young, cool
firsthand,
guy.
there's no firsthand knowledge of the Empire or Palpatine. No frame of reference there.
Yeah, only what she's been told.
So, yeah.
And I'm sure by this point, Luke has spoken to her about stuff, possibly Leia,
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
possibly Yoda. I
Okay,
mean,
let's
who
get
knows?
to the very end here.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
That gave me chills.
Oh.
Luke and Leia.
So Leia's dead
Yeah.
by the end of the movie?
Unless it's clever editing again, yeah.
Yeah, every time my whole body just
Yeah.
convulses uncontrollably. Is that what's supposed to happen? Yeah, every time, just the nonstop chills. When Leia says always, it gets me every time.
Tickets available now.
When the trailer came out, that's what it said. Yeah,
Yeah, but
they weren't yet.
they weren't, right?
No.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, I thought
Tickets available when websites catch up. Which obviously they have now, and the things are selling out because obviously they've already broken records for ticket sales.
Yeah.
But man, that obviously we just talked about how long was that trailer? 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
2.5
hour.
minute trailer, and we've talked about it for an hour. So there's just so many little things going on in it.
Little hints towards things that we know are going to happen or things that we assume are going to happen. Yeah.
Yes,
Like you said, a lot of
they're so
assumptions
good
could
at
be
doing
made.
that with the trailers.
Yeah.
And one thing that I just
Ambiguous. They're very things that are chosen to be ambiguous, purposely
Right.
ambiguous, or can be interpreted.
And there's one thing
without
one
context
thing
in
about the
several
trailer I
ways.
didn't mention that, and it's not whether it's a trailer or not. I always forget how satisfying lightsaber battles with Kylo's lightsaber are. Like that hit and almost like explosion when they hit.
Oh yeah.
Like just the
just a big. You could like
It's just
you
like
could
the-
sense the weight.
like there's
of
just
it.
like this explosion off of each other. Like
Yeah.
there's the lightsaber battles in these movies. I always forget how much I appreciate them
Mhm.
with just how heavy they feel.
Yeah.
And that there is that energy strike,
Yeah.
especially with Kylo's lightsaber because it's all already like on the verge of exploding itself.
Yeah.
With just like how like that if you when you listen to the trailer and that part where they clash lightsabers on top of the Death Star,
Yeah.
just how big of like this energy, just like chest thumping hit it is when it happens. And
Yeah.
every time it's just so satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh, 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 oh. Okay, I'm done.
That's enough of that. We're good.
Oh man, and that was an hour of just trailer talk, and we still have other things that we could talk about, but
There's another thing. So that I could spend another at least 30 minutes on it.
yeah, we probably shouldn't. We've got to
There's so much to
record
talk
another
about.
episode at some point.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's stuff coming out. Like there's a Kylo Ren comic coming out at the beginning of the year. There's a lot of stuff.
The Allegiance series I haven't been following, but
Yeah.
I think number 3 of that is about to come out. I have 1 and 2 of the Vader Target series. Those are pretty good. I need to read those, catch up on those.
Yeah.
Comics is about the only thing I can stay caught up on. I haven't read any more
You
of
haven't read any of
the,
the books.
the second Thrawn book, or even the third one, or any of the other books.
And there's 3 more coming.
Yep.
So hold on. I mean, yeah, there's that. I mean, stuff that's we've got a month until Mandalorian comes out. Less than a month until Mandalorian comes out. The first 2 episodes will hit in the same week.
We'll be talking a lot about that, I'm sure.
And season 2 of Mandalorian's already filming.
Yeah. How dare you?
It's so.
How dare you
There's
do
so
this?
many
Well,
Star
this
Wars
thing we
things
want.
happening, and then like the Obi-Wan series is supposed to start filming, soon.
Yeah.
And there's even like something with I thought it was funny with Ewan McGregor came out and was saying, was like, I had to lie and keep this hidden for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad to be done with that. So all those years of him and people asking him if you're gonna do something Obi-Wan, and him was like, I'd love to. Like that whole time, like
he knew
it's been in progress.
And so did we. I mean,
We assume
we all knew. So I guess that means it started off as a movie. Probably.
I really wonder if it was going to
And
be
then
a movie.
they transitioned to a TV
Like
show.
it had been talked about there being a Boba Fett movie or some kind of Boba Fett thing. Or if that was just, that could have always just been The Mandalorian and it never was truly, quote, Boba Fett.
Could have been.
And there was talks of there being a Boba Fett movie and an Obi-Wan film.
Yeah.
And, even directors had come in, like, discussed them, and there were drafts and stuff like that. So they could have been movies, but then they just got turned into different things.
Yeah.
Repurposed into Mandalorian and an Obi-Wan show, which is a 6-episode miniseries.
Which is going to be sweet.
That's going to take place between Revenge of the Sith and
him on Tatooine.
and New Hope.
Yeah.
So
a lot of potential there. We've talked about that.
I mean,
before.
it's going to be quite a while before that comes out.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll be in 2021.
Maybe. I
think we talked about that before. Will
I assume you'd have
will Cassian come
right,
first?
well, yeah,
or
right. You've got
Obi-Wan?
that show, and then you've got the second series of Mandalorian, which I assume comes out next
Right.
year, maybe late next year sometime.
Right. Yeah.
If they're filming now, late next year most likely.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked on the show about Star Wars: The Resistance.
Oh yeah,
too.
It's
There's-
episode 3 or
I think it's episode 3.
3 or 4 at this point.
I've honestly only watched the first one, but
The first one was
some of the
good.
stuff that's going on with it is, I think, really cool.
Yeah,
So we can talk about that on another time too. So stay
we
tuned.
got a lot to talk about. All of a sudden, it all just kind of happened at
Yeah,
once.
The Star Wars dump is happening, and it can't be stopped. So,
As most dumps go.
so keep your fluids down because you're gonna need them.
For the dump.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this, please go to iTunes or any place
If you
that
enjoyed
allows...
this, why?
I'm sorry. Go to iTunes or wherever it allows you to leave ratings, reviews.
It's
and/or-
Apple Podcasts now, Tyler. Don't you know?
Is
It's
it
not
seriously?
iTunes anymore.
Really?
It's called Apple
I
Podcasts.
could care less.
Go to Apple Podcasts.
And why? I don't like this.
Oh, is iTunes really any better?
The whole product is iTunes.
Go to iTunes and rate a podcast.
Go to iTunes and review Kanye's latest album. Also, while you're there, go to Apple Podcasts because why is one part called one thing? Do you have to go to Apple Music to listen to music and Apple Podcasts to listen to? But it's all iTunes.
No, it's not anymore. It's all separate.
There's no iTunes.
No,
It's all just
it's all
broken
it's
out.
music, podcast, and TV. It's all separate.
Do they have separate apps?
Yep.
What?
On the phone and on the laptop now too.
No.
Well, yes. Except yes.
Go to Apple, whatever the who's it shit, and review the podcast if you so care to find it in whatever various app or
Go to
website.
apple.com/podcasts and look for us.
Can you even do that on there? Or do you have to have iTunes installed to leave reviews?
Let's see. Does apple.com/podcast redirect you to iTunes?
Yeah. Do you mean iTunes.com?
Apple.com/podcasts. The page you're looking for
Doesn't
cannot
exist.
be found.
Great, thanks. Don't go there. I don't know. However you can rate the podcast.
It's called Apple Podcasts, though.
If you haven't reviewed the podcast, please do. We do appreciate it, and it does help people find the show.
Apple Podcasts on the App Store.
Does each podcast have its own app?
Yeah.
Do I have to download one app?
Open the podcast app.
I have to download one app per
Open
episode of
podcast app.
podcasts I listen to?
Welcome to Apple Podcast.
No.
Start listening.
I don't like any of this, Michael.
Look at this.
Stop it.
There's all
I don't like it.
the
This is bullshit.
handful of podcasts.
I already
listen
didn't
to.
understand it. Now you do this? What am I supposed to do?
I'm sorry I introduced you to a new thing.
I don't like it. All right. If you want to contact us, you can reach us at asklobot@hokireligion.com. You can find us on Twitter at
Hokey
HokeyPodcast.
Podcast.
Podcast.
Not plural.
Yeah, there's only one.
Pokey
only
Podcast.
one, thank God.
That's right.
You can find us other places that noises are made, such as YouTube, if you have to listen to things while also staring at a static image. You can do that by just listening to the podcast.
Do we,
and
we
staring
still
at
release
anything else.
on
Yeah,
YouTube?
It's always on YouTube. You can find us all those places. If you really, really enjoy the show, you can go to patreon.com/hokireligion and donate funds to us to help support the show, because this isn't free, but we pretty much do it for free. Anyways, so if you really enjoy the show, any monetary donation would be appreciated. You can do as little as $1. Otherwise, I've got nothing else. I'm tired.
I'm tired, and I'm Michael. And this has been thing.
This has been Hokey Religion, episode 104. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Good.
Hokey religion is an ancient weapon. Hokey religion is an ancient weapon. There's no magic for a good blaster at your side.